Sony had already got a great reputation in the area of consumer electronics. But at the same time, digitalization has happened, and things move from the analog to digital in terms of the technology. And in digital era, generally, it's particularly different from the difficult to differentiate the products from the others in the area of the consumer electronics. And then it's really difficult to compete with the other players. And that environment invite new entrants to the industry, first from Korea and followed by China. And particularly China, as you understand, they have enormous domestic market. Backed by that market, they try to export their products. The consumer electronics area now need a massive scale, and competition field comes to volume and price. And unfortunately, it's very hard to maintain that volume in the Sony group.
How does the Sony transformation fit together with the broader transformation? Does it affect how you're transforming Sony, that the entire industry is changing?
We forced to change because, when I came back from a subsidiary to headquarters, and that was 2013, that was a very severe time, and the financial performance is very bad, and many good people were left company.
It's been a big change for Sony to branch out from its traditional position in consumer electronics, but it's already well into that transition. Around a decade ago, entertainment made up only 30% of its revenue. By 2024, it had grown to 60% of the company.
Let's talk about the creative side. As I understand it, it's more than half of the business for Sony at this point. What are the component parts of that you rely on?
That's including game and the music and motion pictures. And these entertainment business earn more than 60% of revenue now.
And of those three, which is the largest one? Is it gaming?
Gaming, yeah.
Gaming. So tell me about the gaming business.
We are always talking about PlayStation should be a best place to play from users' perspective, and at the same time, best place to publish, because we have a great relationship with a bunch of third-party, game publishers. And of course, we have great studios as a first party.
Sony's major games include international blockbusters like God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, and Helldivers. But as successful as they've been, Totoki-san prefers to supervise rather than be a gamer himself.
I'm good at, the thinking about a business model, and including a financial, and also think about the top-down approach. Which industry is suitable, which we have in Sony, which field we can capable to compete with the other companies. That kind of the way of thinking is very helpful to develop my career.
Do you personally consume Sony creative product, whether it's games or films or music?
I love music and TV dramas and music, but I cannot play game, to be very honest. I can play, but it's a very, the primitive level.
And Sony is a major producer of the music and film that Totoki-san loves.
We are doing good business in the film, and of course, some films are volatile, but they try to avoid such volatility, and we develop the portfolio to make a film, and sometimes we do a deal with a big distributor such as Netflix.
Anime is something many of us identify with Japan as almost uniquely Japan. Has it gone global?
Yes, now definitely. Thanks to the big streaming platform, now anime is simultaneously distributed, at the same time, worldwide basis. That helps, the anime global hits us a lot. And, that enable to mitigate the piracy risk as well.
As part of its push toward content, Sony has made major investments in music catalogs building on its traditional strength. And that's where Apollo came in.
is quite important because the each capital resources have a different risk appetite as well as a different time horizon. And as we diversify our business and we need to acquire many asset classes, and it's we can find out the best fit of the the capital investment and asset class.
Is that why you entered into a relationship with Apollo for music catalog, because you needed
Exactly.
a long-term time horizon?
Exactly. And the music capital is relatively low risk and low return, the asset class. And that really fit to the, private credit. And, needs a long time horizon as a capital. And as such, that's a great example.
It turns out that Totoki-san has a long time horizon in his music tastes as well. His favorite artist is a British rock band from the 90s, one that's recently gotten back together, and one that over the years has worked with Sony in distributing some of their records.
Do you have a favorite artist?
I actually joined the concert of the Oasis and in Tokyo. And they have a dome concert 2 days, and I really enjoyed. And it's after 20 years, they had a concert in Japan, and a lot of fans are there. And of course, I heard all days music as well, and it's really great fun.
From automotive to anime, Japanese corporate leaders are changing the way they do business and finding new ways to capitalize those changes with the help of firms like Apollo.